Okay, welcome our fans. It's that time of year again for the ComicArtFans website Best Of. I hope you've taken the time to enter your 5 favorite pieces and place your votes. If you're unfamiliar with the ComicArtFans Best Of, I'll put a link in the description box and you can check out all of the entries. As always, there were many amazing pieces posted to CAF throughout the year, and choosing my top 5 in each category was a challenge. I'm going to go over my entries and the pieces I voted on for 2021. There are sure to be many mispronounced names and titles, so I apologize in advance. So my entries are here. I didn't get much in the way of traditional comic art in 2021, so my entries lean more towards the gallery art description, but close enough to the comic art periphery to be included. My first entry is a Scarlet Witch commission from Marco Gaglione. It's super bright and overflowing with Marco's style. Give it a quick look here. That's definitely Marco's style. My second entry is a commission from Linnea Strid. Her current style is focused on water themes, and this fits very well with the lyrics from a song titled Flood, which the lyrics are on there, and we'll go ahead and give that a listen.
All I believe, crumbling images, no longer comfort me.
After 20 plus years of collecting, I was finally able to get a Phil Hale painting in my collection. Of course, the photo does not do it justice, but I do enjoy looking at this piece hanging on my wall and seeing it every day. And lastly, in the published and unpublished category, an artist that I just discovered in 2021 was Lee Wagstaff. His paintings are best viewed in person from across the room. Most paintings make you want to lean in and get a closer look, but in Lee's case, they're better further away. The closer you get, they do get more abstract and more unrecognizable. I mean, it is very hard to convey how awesome this piece is. I mean, probably the thumbnail is the best version of it that you're going to see online. And my last entry is a painting by Jason Lamone. Jason creates these scenarios that could come right out of a Tim Burton movie. Each of his paintings seems to show a different part of this small world where these skeletons live in their folded paper constructions, and they go about their creepy yet charming little way. So those are my paintings. I'm sure you're all familiar with them because you all voted on at least one of them. So thanks for looking at this part of the video, and next we will go to the published, unpublished comic book covers. Okay, next up is the published and unpublished comic book covers. We'll go over here. And I'll scroll down a little bit so you can see some of the runners up. You know, there's 322 entries in this category. You only get to pick 5, so that's less than 2%. You know, I could probably swap out 3 of my picks for any one of these pieces. There's just too many fantastic pieces to choose from. So the 5 I went with in no particular order are this Rocket Girl #2 cover from Amy Reeder in the collection of Stephen M. As with most of my picks, I don't know anything about the title. I just like the slouchy pose of the main figure. And then, unlike so many modern covers, which are a single character of OA with a digital background, this cover is chock full of fire escapes and oh so many bricks. Okay, let's get back to the next piece. My next pick was this Hawkman 23 cover from Gerardo Zaffino in the collection of RS88. If you've seen my entries or viewed some of my calf, this piece is an obvious vote for me. As the owner said in his description, this is a definitive Hawkman cover. I agree. What do you think of it, Henry?
Rage! Rage! Rage!
Yeah, that about sums it up. My third pick is going to be this Detective Comics 855 cover from J.H. Williams III in the collection of Tim D. J.H. Williams III had an incredible run on the covers of Detective Comics and Batwoman, and this cover is no exception. His covers and interior pages always have so much going on in a good way that you really need to give them some time. I just love the graphics on here, the symmetry. Can't go wrong with the J.H. Williams III cover. My next pick is this Deadpool #9 cover from Chris Pacello and Tim Townsend in the collection of Alan Hamilton. I don't know what it is exactly, but Pacello has a very distinct look to his characters' faces, and Tim's inks really do complement this. Throw in Deadpool breaking the fourth wall, crashing into the title, and I've got to give this one my vote. And let's get a closer look at it. That is really good. Go over to CAF, check this out. The video is just not going to be able to do this one justice. And my last pick in the published unpublished comic book covers is this Joker Annual #1 cover from Dan Hipp in the collection of RM. This is just a great cartoony style. So much effort put into the sweet, sweet turtleneck sweater. The snake details are a great touch. And Clayface is hidden down there in the black and white version. He really pops in the color version. I don't know what's going on with Joker's eye, but the grin and hand position definitely have a very Killing Joke vibe. This is a great cover. All right, thank you for watching my published, unpublished comic book cover picks. Okay, next up we have the published, unpublished comic books splashes and title pages. Only, quote unquote, 199 entries in this category, about a third less than the covers, but choosing 5 was still just as difficult. Again, I'll scroll down, you can see some runners up. So many great pieces, but there can only be 5. So my first choice is going to be this Chasing the Bird page from Dave Chisholm in the collection of Sean. This splash page is really a blend of 4 tiers that meld into each other. I particularly like how the cityscape transitions into the piano keyboard. It's very well done, and it's time to put on some Charlie Parker after this video. My next choice is this Batman White Knight #1, page 15, from Sean Murphy in the collection of Eric B. In a single page, Sean Murphy shows us the transitions from vaudevillian to Gotham villain. There's a lot going on and a lot of fantastic elements on this page. Murphy directs the eye starting at the arrow in the upper left. The psalms back and forth with the lofting playing cards and the pamphlets. All of this is overseen by the shadow of the bat. For a more thorough breakdown of this page, check out the Comic Art Live channel, where Dino Mauricio goes over this page with way more proficiency than I ever could. Next up, we have this Swamp Thing, Volume 5, Number 9, page 14 and 15, from Marco Rudy in the collection of Kevin Boyd. I'm new to Marco Rudy's art, but I like what he is doing here. He seems to be channeling J.H. Williams on this DPS, and it turned out great. So much storytelling going on within each of the little shockwave panels that I'm noticing more elements each time I look back at it. Definite J.H. Williams vibes on this one. My next vote, I went with this Joker graphic novel, splash page 19, from Liber Mijo in the collection of Michael Fuentes. Every page in this book is gorgeous, and this one is no exception. Even in the black and white original page, the textures come through on Harley's outfit. She's instructing the viewer to come a little bit closer, but that's not quite a smile on her face. More of a sneer. Bermejo keeps the Joker just as creepy, even if he is only in 3 small panels. And last but not least in this category is this Harley Quinn number 9, page 13, from Michael Kaluta in the collection of Mike Rice. Like the previous Chasing Bird page, this is a very blended 4-tier splash. Kaluta weaves hair, ramen, tentacles, and licorice ropes into a swirling spectacle of a page. This is a page that really has to be studied. The chaos, very fitting for a Harley book, is in stark contrast to the symmetry he used on his Lucifer cover run. And this is another book I'm going to have to pick up. So, after reviewing my picks, I realized 3 out of 5 of my picks are Batman-centric. DC seems to be doing something right in the art department. Okay, we are on category number 3, the published, unpublished interior panel pages. I'm going to scroll up here, you can see some of the top picks in this one. Hard to choose once again, but I had to go with, my first pick here is Mirror Mirror from John McNaught in the collection of Dries the Wolf. This is a fun single-page story of a girl grabbing a mirror and walking on the ceiling. Second and third tiers are from her perspective, and it's easy to picture a kid or your younger self doing something like this, which makes this page so relatable. Being mostly wordless, the gag works with anyone. My second choice is this Demon with a Glass Hand, page 7 from Marshall Rogers in the collection of Terry Doyle. The only thing I know about this story is that Terry really likes it and has been hunting pages for as long as I can remember. At first glance, this borderless page may look like just a group of images, but it very efficiently leads the eye. First across the top from left to right, then zags back left down to the second tier. Then the first panel tips you into the remaining images. This is how to construct a page. My next pick is this Harley Quinn black and white and red number 9 page 1 by Joe Quinones in the collection of Wonder Effin' Woman. Joe does a good job on this single page, giving us a complete caper from Poison Ivy entering the building, making her way to the artifact she is after, and out the door. That's a complete story unto itself. After that, the rest of the comic is just going to be gravy. My next pick is a Cursed Pirate Girl, Chapter 4, page 2 from Jeremy Bastian in the collection of William Lawson. No one has ever looked at a Jeremy Bastian page with indifference. Jeremy doesn't really draw comic pages in the traditional sense. He creates these epic scenes to carry his stories along, like the sea itself. They really are worth seeking out on ComicArtFans. Epic, like his stories. And my final pick in this category is this Legion of Superheroes in the 31st Century, number 6, page 16 by Alexander Serra in the collection of Hart Rykoff. Clearly, I like the montagey, splashy panel pages the most. This page has 25 plus characters and or figures and isn't crowded or heavy. The open panels at the top and the bottom, as well as the see-through Saturn girl on the bottom, helped keep this page open. This is a real eye-catcher. The next category we're going to look at is the published, unpublished comic book pinups, illustrations, and trading cards. Again, scrolling down to see my runners up. My first pick in this category is this Daredevil by, I think it's pronounced D.K. Ron, in the collection of K. Guerin. So the owner of this piece has a great write-up on CAF, better than anything I can add here. So go over there and check that out. This piece has everything a Daredevil piece needs, and it's done with precision. DD in full swing, with the lead of his baton as long as any of Spawn's chains. You can see the artist took time with the cityscape, making everything in perspective. That definitely adds a sense of realism to the piece. This piece is very well done, and I agree with the owner. This should be a cover someday. This is definitely a cover quality piece. My next selection is this Professor X by Mike Perkins in the collection of Kavi H. This piece also has a great write-up on CAF that you should go over and check out. and this piece could easily be a cover as well. The professor in deep concentration, sending out his many thoughts. My favorite bit about this piece is the lack of definition around the top of the professor's head. The outline is hinted at, and the optics cause you to fill in the rest for yourself, and it is with or without the professor's help. Another great piece. My next vote went to this Return of P-Gel by Frank Cho in the collection of Joe Jusko. Like the Deadpool piece in the covers category, I really enjoy the characters interacting with the titles. And this spirit is in classic Eisner style. Add to that Frank Cho's rendition of the Femme Fatale, and this piece is a winner by anybody's standards. Next up is this Death Metal Wonder Woman pinup by Mike McCone in the collection of Frank Lanza. Mike McCone did one or two art drops in 2021 through the TD Art website. The colors on all of the pieces are just stunning. This Wonder Woman is spectacular. My eye has been so drawn to the vibrant colors that I'm just now noticing the small stars in the background. Again, go to CAF and check out all of the McCone pinups posted last year. They are all brilliant in every sense of the word. And as you can see, I had this one as another choice. It was a tough pick, but Wonder Woman beats out Spider-Man in my book any day of the week. Okay, finally, in this category, there is this Boba Fett versus Sarlacc by Ramon Box in the collection of Colin Solon. I really love the perspective on this one. The camera's been dropped further into the Sarlacc's maw, allowing us to watch as Boba Fett struggles to escape. The details on Fett are great. The battle-worn armor, the view up under his helmet, and the little blades he has deployed from his boots to help convince the Sarlacc to let him loose. One of the best details is the glare coming off of the ship above as it blocks out the sun. I'm sure the ship has a name, but my Star Wars knowledge does have its limits. What I do know is Leia is up there somewhere in her Leia outfit. That's more than enough. Similar to the rest of my votes, I picked the pieces in the strip art category that had something that stood out to me. Even with only 48 entries in this category, the decision making was tough. My first vote went to this Star Wars Sunday by Mike Allred in the collection of RS-88. Well, a Star Wars piece is always going to work. It's way to the top of the list. This Sunday strip is great. The sixth panel with Luke, Han, and Leia is the eye catcher. Unlike all of the other panels, this one has no background, just a simple frame around the characters and Han looking like he is about to break the fourth wall. And of course, you can't go wrong with a profile of Darth Vader. My next vote went with this Willie or Wally from Leonard Sanson in the collection of Philip R. Fry. This single panel gag from 1947 just shows how some things have stayed the same for the last 75 years. Two boys competing to be the one to impress the girl who remains oblivious to all of it. And not that the figures in the background aren't well done, you can see extra effort put into the female figure, the one that is going to sell the gag. My next pick is this Johnny Comet by Frank Frazetta in the collection of Patrick Kochenek, MD. This strip is all of the reasons Frank Frazetta art is so sought after. The last panel is where the eye is eventually drawn and lingers. But a couple of other elements really stand out in this simple daily strip. I like the fact that Frazetta has a signature in the first panel, as if the characters have a painting of his hanging on the wall. And this character with his back to the camera is quite cartoony, but the next panel has the star in a perfect lifelike image. Ah, the tousled hair, what a scamp. My next vote went to this Johnny Hazard Sunday by Frank Robbins in the collection of Bill Morrison. This Sunday is dense. I've seen 22-page comics with less art in them than this Sunday strip. The large scan posted at the calf is just great for checking out the attention to detail in this piece. Beginning with the panel 1 and the braiding on the sailor's hat and the pattern on the dress. And I have to wonder, how visible was the mole on her face when this was printed in the paper? Have a look at the stickers on this box. How long did he spend on these details only he saw? And the framing and the helicopter's tail boom and the stabilizer bars that only someone familiar with helicopters would know are there. And lastly, let me point out this winch here, half hidden under a word balloon and a background item no one would miss. Frank Robbins was a true craftsman. This piece is absolutely fantastic. And my final vote in this category goes to Eve by Arthur Ferrier in the collection of Greg Wilson. Another strip with so much art placed in 3 small panels. The standout is clearly the second panel. The shading of her face and the highlights on the sweater make a clear light source while placing the 2 ne'er-do-wells in the shadows. But there are plenty of details in the other 2 panels that can easily be overlooked. The shadow cast by this guy's mustache makes it clear that this guy is up to no good, or is the mustache itself the evil character. And the third panel is full of tiny details, from the pattern on the curtains, the flowers both outlined and silhouetted, her fuzzy sweater, and there's that guy's mustache again, all feathery this time as if signaling. I don't like this guy. Our next category is the published, unpublished, commissions, and recreations. Scrolling up, you can see some of my top choices. My first vote went to this Goblin Queen and Cyclops by Jay Lee in the collection of Shang-Chi. My vote for this piece is based primarily on the composition. I love the Goblin Queen in her slouchy, relaxing pose after defeating Cyclops. Just a great piece from Jay. My next choice went with this Dead Earth Wonder Woman versus Superman by Chris Stevens in the collection of Tim D. Anytime Superman gets taken down a notch is a good time. Wonder Woman is center stage with Superman's defeated body framing her. This looks like it's seconds after Wonder Woman gave the final punch with what looks like some kryptonite brass knuckles. So many great textures in this Wonder Woman piece, from Wonder Woman's outfit, the stone steps in the background, and the billowing dust. This is a prime piece. My next vote went for this Mad Meg by Jeremy Bastian in the collection of Dries de Wolf. I voted for a Jeremy Bastian piece in the panel pages category and voted for this Mad Meg piece here for the same reasons. Jeremy creates epic pieces, whether he is doing a panel page or a full-blown commission like this. There are way too many details to cover here, but check out this Ignite on a birdfish channeling Hieronymus Bosch. My next vote went with this A Dream of Death by Michael St. Maria in the collection of Christian Palamba. There are a lot of Sandman commissions out there, and thousands have made their way to CAF. This one definitely stands out amongst the many. The layout of this commission is an homage to another piece, but it doesn't keep it from coming into its own. I like the centered characters surrounded by the chaos, but if you look closely, there is a symmetry amongst the chaos as well. And finally, no Sandman commission is complete without a well done helm. That is such a fantastic design. And my fifth vote in this category went with this Gotham City Sirens by Satoshi Hatano in the collection of Philip Quattrone. Another piece in this category that I can't believe hasn't been used as a cover yet. These three sirens take center stage in their character-themed kimonos, and this is another new artist on my radar. Fantastic colors on this one. Our next category is the unpublished sketch covers and convention sketches. My first vote went with this Starro the Conqueror by Lee Walls in the collection of Jason Borelli. Lots of detail in this convention sketch. I think having just watched the Suicide Squad movie may have swayed my vote on this great piece. Could have been hypnotism. My next vote goes with this Nick Cave based on a photo by Dave Milne by Reinhard Kleist in the collection of Hans from Germany. Anytime I can see an underground icon on CAF, it's going to get a vote. This sketch catches all of the moodiness of Nick Cave. I'm hoping to see a Blixa Bargold next year. Let's do it, Hans. My next vote goes with this Joker mugshot by Lee Bermejo in the collection of Michael Fuentes. I already cast a vote for a Bermejo Joker page in another category, and it's easy to see why. Bermejo's Joker is one of the best. This is a great idea to get an image of on a sketch cover. Fits perfectly. Okay, I gave this one a vote. This Wolverine and Wonder Woman by Dave Finch in the collection of Neil and Lee Meacham. Finch does an exceptional Wonder Woman and a fantastically savage Wolverine. Anytime he does either character, it's always going to be a great addition to any collection. And lastly, I voted for this Scarlet Witch by Joe Quesada in the collection of Dark Phoenix. Quesada did a nice sketch here during a drink and draw, and I gave it a vote because the pose looks similar to another piece, published piece by Quesada did some years back, and this is a great addition for this collector. This next category is the published, unpublished media artwork, music, TV, and movie. My first vote went with this Back to the Future Part 3 by Drew Struzan in the collection of Rabid Ferret. Drew Struzan transports us back to the future, and this is an exceptional art for this perfectly campy classic. My next vote went with this Sublime $5 at the Door by Jim Mahfood in the collection of Kavi H. I love seeing comic art and music cross streams, and Mahfood captures the loose chaos of Sublime perfectly here. This piece makes me want to play some April 29th, 1992.
I don't know if you can, but can you get an owner for ONS? That's ONS Junior Market. The address is 1934 East Anaheim. All the windows are busted out, and it's like a free-for-all here, and the owner should maybe come down here and see if he can secure his business if he wants to.
My next vote is with this Betty Page movie star news cover by Dave Stevens in the collection of Dino Mauricio. As Dino says in his description, a truly iconic Betty Page, and that sums it up. Dave Stevens was one of the best to put these delicate inks on paper. Go check out the larger scan on CAF. Let's just take a moment to enjoy this. My next vote goes with this Unchained Brain album back cover by Gregory Miller in the collection of Matt Moore. If you watched any of the other voting selections I've made, you can see why this one got my vote. This piece has a definite Jeremy Bastian vibe. This was a fantastic pickup and yet again another artist added to my watch list. And my final vote in this category is for this Bride of Frankenstein by Rick Magyar in the collection of Thomas Suling. This is not an easy angle to pull off successfully, but Rick does it. And the subtle lightning in the background is a great touch. Let me add my like. And that is it for this category. Thank you for watching. The next category is the published, unpublished, non-comic cover, pinups, illustrations, and gaming art. So my first vote went with this Lady with Dragon Tattoo by Ozuma Kaname in the collection of Oliver. The dragon on this back piece is just so well done, I just had to give it a vote. That's just a great piece. My next vote went with this Magic the Gathering 6 cover by Eric M. Gist in the collection of Tatiana TD Art Dykes Gallery. This was a top pick from the moment it was posted. The angled horizon, the pose, and the wisps of smoke give this piece a continuing sense of motion. And the smoke is great. You gotta love the little skulls in there. And the fact that the character's head is partly made out of that same smoke. This is just a great piece, and I'm sure it looks fantastic on the wall. My next vote is for this The Conditioned Captain by Virgil Finlay in the collection of Doug Ellis. 69 years old.
69, dudes!
And this piece still stands up. This is a masterpiece in every sense of the word. The inking is just incredible. You really need to get over to CAF and check out the large scan of this. It is absolutely timeless and will be just as stunning in another 100 years. My next vote goes with this August 1956 by George Petty in the collection of Scott Green. Another piece that is 60 plus years old and as you can see with my vote, beats out a lot of the newer pieces. And although it's not an unfinished piece, her outfit is so light it almost falls into that niche that I like so much. And my last vote in this category is this Ego Strip #1 cover by Dan Lish in the collection of George H. Another fun music-related piece. This is a cover to a book that really makes me want to check out what is inside. So I've now got one on order. And remember,
Course of D is for dangerous. You could come and get some of this. I teach.
okay, the final category is the published, unpublished, other. And my first vote goes with the Heavy Metal 300 cover by Claudia Lanaciello in the collection of Jason Coates. Classic Tarna, on a new heavy metal cover. It's a great mix of heavy and light pencils, and Tarna staring directly at the viewer sets this piece apart from the crowd. My next vote went with the Batcave Revealed by Dick Sprang in the collection of Alex Johnson. I've always loved exploded and or cutaway view drawings, and this piece is just one of those, and it looks great. This Batcave layout has all of those elements. Having the grid on here, I think, actually adds to the piece, and I really like it for that. That grid is probably one of my favorite elements of the piece. My next vote goes with this Tetsuo illustration by Ian Bertram in the collection of Jason K. Ian Bertram is another artist that absolutely goes wild with his commissions. He is in the same class as Jeremy Bastian. I'm not familiar with this character or the story, but it doesn't affect my appreciation for just how absolutely bat crazy this piece is. My next vote is for this Mad 291 Spy vs. Spy by Bob Clark in the collection of Michael McIsaac. Who doesn't love a good Spy vs. Spy strip? Complete stories are becoming more desirable in the hobby, but the great one-pagers have been around for ages. This page has such a great wall appeal that's going to be appreciated by anyone of any age. And finally, last but certainly not least, one of my favorite pieces in the entire collection of entries for 2021 is this piece titled Sleep by Dave Palumbo in the collection of Mike Parkinson. This piece is just an absolute beauty, and it would definitely be a contender for my best of overall category for 2021. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed these videos. If you haven't checked out the CAF Best Of, head on over to ComicArtFans.com. Check out those entries and a ton of other original comic art. Thank you for watching.